Hey, what's up guys? My name is Gracie, aka Gray Reads Books, and today we are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Even though it's past mid-year a little bit, it's fine. So, first question is what is the best book you've read so far in 2020? The best book I've read so far is my only 5 stars. That wasn't a reread. I have 2 5 stars. One was a reread. Oh my god. So in that non-reread is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I absolutely loved this book. It's an exploration of class and race and wealth, kind of, in America, in society, and in this neighborhood where Mia and Pearl Warren move in. The daughter Pearl becomes friends with the Richardson kids, and the Richardson mom, Elena, is very into Mia's past, and there is lots of drama, but very realistic in my opinion, so I highly recommend this book. I think the writing is amazing. Celeste Ng has an amazing talent, which I will probably talk about several times in this video. Okay, the second question is the best sequel I've read in 2020. And I've read 3 sequels in 2020, and weirdly enough, I gave them all the same rating, so I'll quickly talk about all 3 of them. So the first one I read was The King of Crows by Libba Bray, which is the 4th and final book in the Diviners series. I gave these all 4.75 stars. That book was amazing. It definitely made me like cry, and it made me happy as well. It was a really good wrap up to the series. Then I read The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, which was the 3rd out of 3 books in the Truly Devious trilogy. That was a tongue twister. I also think that one wrapped up this series very well. That one is a mystery, and sometimes when there is multiple books in a mystery series, like it's not just a standalone, it gets drug out. I know some people think that about the Truly Devious trilogy, but in my opinion, I think it was done really well. And then finally, the second book in the Strange the Dreamer duology, Muse and Nightmares by Laini Taylor, also gave 4.75 stars like the other 2. This book took me forever to read. Like, I've had it for a while. I read the first one like in 2017 or something like that. Maybe it was 2018. I don't know. But I waited way too long to read this because it is a really good book. Ties it up really well. It definitely has some cliffhangers though, so I was kind of like, but I really enjoyed it. The third question is, what is a new release you haven't read yet but want to? I have a couple, but I decided to just go with one, and that is You Don't Live Here by Robin Schneider. I don't know much about this book except for it's by Robin Schneider, who I absolutely love. I loved Extraordinary Means, like it was amazing, and then I also really liked the beginning of Everything. I think she writes such like interesting stories that always seem very like different and new. Even if they have a similar concept to something else, she does them in a way that just feels refreshing. I think this is a book about a teen girl who is living with her grandparents, and they want her to be someone who she's not. I think she's also dealing with her LGBT identity and maybe coming out or something like that, and making friends, boyfriend, girlfriends maybe, I don't know exactly, but I'm just really excited because it's Robin Schneider and the cover is so cool. I haven't looked at the, oh, I think that's cute too. But anyways, I just recently bought this. I think it came out on June 2nd. So I'm a little late, but when do I ever read new releases on time? Or like right away? Never. And then the fourth question is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I had to, for some reason I was like going back and forth between 2. So I'll mention them both, but I think my most anticipated release is Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. I freaking love Nina LaCour. She's probably my favorite author ever. My favorite book of all time is Hold Still by Nina LaCour. I also love We're Okay by Nina LaCour. I own Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, and I haven't read it yet, but she does amazing emotional writing, and I just can't get over how her books make me feel. I know that Watch Over Me is like kind of ghosty and supernatural, which makes me really happy because I can see her doing that amazingly. The second one is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I also love Katrina Leno with all my heart. I've read a lot of her books. Summer of Salt is one of my favorites, but I have heard some iffy things about Horrid and that it wasn't up to most people's expectations, so I'm a little nervous about it, but I definitely am going to pick it up. I think both of those come out in September, possibly on the same day, but I could be wrong. Fifth question is biggest disappointment, and that's definitely going to be The Haunting of Hill House. I did give it a 3.75, just so you know, so not a horrible rating, but I was definitely expecting a very different story and a lot better. So first of all, the show A Haunting of Hill House, which I had heard was loosely based off of it, so I wasn't expecting a direct adaptation. But the show is one of my favorite shows of all times. I think it's so amazing, and it is extremely different from this, and this wasn't even really scary at all. I don't know. And my other reason for being disappointed is that We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson is an amazing book, one of my favorites. So I was expecting more from Shirley Jackson's writing and more like playing with emotions and fear and stuff, but I did not get that from this. But I will keep it because I like the cover and I like Shirley Jackson in general. So next is your biggest surprise, and my biggest surprise is Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. I had previously read Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare as well as A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare, and they were okay, but they weren't like my favorite thing ever, where Julius Caesar I highly enjoyed. We read it in class partially when we were still like in school, and then we had the opportunity to either read the summary or read the rest on our own, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm reading the rest on my own. I was supposed to play Mark Antony, and Mark Antony has the most parts at the end where we read on our own, so I was sad, but it's fine. I liked being Mark Antony in my head anyways, so I gave it a 4.5, which is pretty high and definitely higher than what I gave Romeo and Juliet and Midsummer Night's Dream, even though I don't actually remember what I gave them. Pretty sure it was below 4 each time. That's my dog scratching on my door, but he can't come in here. Sorry, dog. I'm really hyper right now. The next question is favorite new author, debut or new to you? Definitely a new to me author, because my new favorite author is Celeste Ng. Who would have thought? My favorite book, my new favorite author, amazing. So I've read her 2 novels and I really enjoyed them both. I think I gave this one 4.5. Like I said, I gave this one a 5. Her writing is literally insane. I'm so impressed with it. I just think she explores humanity in realistic ways, and the way people deal with grief and with just life in general and making friends and being in relationships, just like in the best way. She does so amazing with topics like that. So I definitely love her. Would really like more books by her because I don't believe there are any others. And I don't know if she has any plans to write more, but if she ever does, you know, I'll be reading them. Then, newest fictional crush. And I don't really feel like I have a fictional crush, but I guess I'll talk about a romance, a relationship that I really thought was cute. This is the most recent book that I read, I believe, A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard. And the relationship in it is really cute and just heartwarming, especially for someone who doesn't read romance very often. I didn't love the female character Steffi, but I did really enjoy the male character Reese. I think they both had like character flaws, but like if you don't, then you're not realistic. So but yeah, I thought they were really cute. The next question asks what my newest favorite character is, and I definitely had to think about this one because nothing was like coming to mind, but I thought of it and I'm pretty sure that this is the one. Hannah Lee from Everything I Never Told You. This book centers on the family of a girl who has recently been found dead in I think it's a lake near their home, and it's very everyone's unsure of how she drowned, but she did drown. Like, was it an accident? Was it suicide? Did someone kill her maybe? Like, you know. And the little sister, Hannah, I think she's like 8 or 10 or something like that. I thought she was one of the most realistic young characters ever. I think younger siblings in books centered on teens especially are either underdeveloped in terms of they're just kind of there and they aren't talked about, or they're 8 but they act 5. Like, there's something off about them, but I think that Celestine did a really good job with Hannah. And I also really loved the other sibling, Nathan, but Hannah was definitely my favorite. To keep talking about this book, we have a book that made me cry, and it was definitely this one. I think I cried the most for this book, and it's well warranted. There are some really sad scenes in this book, and like I said, Celestine does emotional writing very well. We have a book that made me happy, and I'm going to go with Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I feel like I'm talking about most of these books twice if I'm talking about them once, but it's okay. Just shows that I really loved them. This book made me happy because I had really missed Laini Taylor's writing and these characters, and I think that the storyline was just so fun and fast-paced, and I hadn't read very many fantasy type stories that I loved in a while, so that's why this made me happy. Then we have the most beautiful book that you've bought or received in 2020 so far, and I have bought or received in total 18 books, and this one is the 7th that I acquired, and that is Dark and Deep Thread by Anna Marie McLemore. I got this in February. Something about Anna Marie McLemore's like cover team, like whoever's making their books covers is extremely like talented or has very good ideas because they are all gorgeous. Definitely impressed by this. I think it is so pretty, and like this raised font, so cool. I don't know. And the inside, oh, literally gorgeous. The very last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I decided to go through my physical TBR and pick out some books because my goal is to read a lot of the books that I own instead of getting a lot of new ones and reading only like borrowed books and stuff. So I'm just gonna list them. I do own them, but I don't want to get them all out. So we have Radio Silence by Alice Othman, which is, I think, some type of podcast inspired book with a lot of like friendships. And then we have Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I think it's some type of horror that deals with a virus that changes the body, like a body horror. I don't know. I'm really intrigued by it. The cover is beautiful as well. It sounds up my alley. We have Invisible Ghosts by Robin Schneider, which is, I already talked about Robin Schneider. I believe it's in middle grade about a girl whose best friend is the ghost of her dead brother or something like that, which literally will be good if it's anything like her other books. We have The Lost and Found by Katrina Leno, which is the only book of Katrina Leno's that I haven't read that is released. I don't know much about what it's about. Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. It's the only Nina LaCour book that I own and haven't read. I believe there are 1 or 2 more that are out that I don't own or have read. But it's queer. It's Nina LaCour. And then finally, My Real Name is Hannah by Tara Lynn Massey. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I believe I am. This book actually won in a Goodreads giveaway. I don't think I've talked about it yet, but it is a Holocaust novel, historical fiction, and the cover is beautiful and I really want to read it. Because the author even sent me like a personalized note. That was the mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It means so much to me. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!